Thank you. Thank you. I am thrilled to be here with you tonight. Have you ever known someone who's made you feel bad? I have. I used to work with someone who would give me the biggest knot in my stomach when I had to interact with her, and sometimes I'd get this feeling of dread washing over my body. Cara wasn't a bad person, but when she was feeling under pressure or stressed, she had this way of infecting me with her emotions. I thought it was just me, but it wasn't just me. You see, she'd infected others in the team and even outside of the team with these emotions. What really struck me about the situation was that the power that one person can have over other people's well-being, derailing their mental and emotional state. You see, something funny happens when people come together in groups. People catch feelings of other people. You might have experienced it. It's called emotional contagion. Have you ever had a Cara in your life? Yes? Yeah. So you'd know that when you come in contact with a stressed person, the stress hormones in your body rise, even if they're a complete stranger. And the closer that person is to you, the stronger the effect. So if you've got a Cara in your life, there's two things that I did that got me through that time. The first one was to redirect, and the second one was to immunise. So I redirected her and I immunised myself. So the first part of redirecting is to really listen to the person with empathy. Because for them, the struggle is real and they need to be acknowledged and heard. And the second part is to help them move forward in a productive way. And I find this question helpful. What will you do to move forward from here? Because what it does is that it just engages that part of their brains where they can think of ideas and solutions, and it might be the very thing that they need to just get unstuck. And then back to you. You want to immunise yourself against those emotions. And what I found with Cara is that I had to create some emotional boundaries so I didn't continue to be led by her emotions. I remember a particular time where I was feeling really challenged by Cara. I was sitting across the table at a meeting with her, and she was in the midst of one of her stress shitstorms. It was going off. And I said to myself, fortunately in my own head, that's her shit, she can have that. But what I'd encourage you to do is, yes, remind yourself it's the other person's emotions. It's not for you, and it won't serve you. It's if our own stress isn't enough, right? So I ask you to own your contagion. What emotions are you catching? Is there a Cara in your life? And what emotions are you spreading? Are you a Cara? You don't need me to tell you that how we're living and working is stressing many people out. And it's taking a toll on our well-being. And it's even causing preventable chronic illnesses like heart disease, diabetes, and mental health conditions are on the rise. Now, I came across a bit of data that really took me by surprise, and that was from the World Health Organization. They showed that more than 2 in 3 people suffer from and die from chronic illnesses. And what's more, many of them are caused by our lifestyle choices and are preventable. Now, I don't want that for you. I don't want that for your loved ones. And I certainly don't want it for me and my loved ones. So my question to you is, who here wants to be one of the lucky ones? Are you with me? Yes. Awesome. Well, I've got some fantastic news. You see, there is a powerful antidote. So just as we can spread the very things that deteriorate our well-being, we can also do the opposite. Just as we can spread negative emotions, we can also spread positive emotions. enthusiasm and joy. They're contagious, right? What's more is that it's not just emotions that are contagious. Well-being is contagious. And well-being contagion is the spread of well-being ideas, attitudes, and behaviours in groups. And I bet at some point, each of you have experienced this in some way. Have you ever been part of a group, maybe at work, maybe in the community, maybe within your family or a sporting group, where you've experienced one or more of these things? Where you've felt a sense of value in the world, maybe even a sense of meaning and purpose. Where you've felt a sense of connection and belonging with other people. Where you've felt good about yourself and the world. Where you've been inspired to look after your physical well-being. And where you've been encouraged to learn and grow. And finally, where you've found harmony between your working life and your family life. Where you've been infected with a culture of well-being. The best example that I know of well-being contagion is park run. Is there anyone in the room today that's ever been to a park run? Give me a holler. Yeah, awesome. So you know what I'm talking about. Park run began in 2004 in this beautiful place called Bushy Park in the UK. Isn't it delightful? A small group of friends got together and they decided that they wanted to run a 5-kilometre timed run every Saturday morning. Now, to some that sounds like a mad idea, but to me it sounds like a good one. It turns out that other people thought this was a good idea too. You see, in just under 2 years, there were more than 350 runners joining them on that Saturday morning run. Would have been busy. You see, friends invited friends and they invited their families because exercise is socially contagious. And it didn't stop there, it spread like wildfire. More park runs popped up in the UK and then it broke the borders and went international. And today, there are more than 3.5 million people around the world walking or running park run. And if you're a park runner, you'll know you get more than just a boost in your physical well-being. And that's the reason I went there. It was my saviour when I had to deal with the Karas of the world, and it still is today. See, it wasn't just my physical well-being that got a boost. I got an incredible boost to my social well-being. I've met some incredibly happy, active people at park run that are dear friends. But I also got a boost to my mental and my emotional state as well. So there's an incredible opportunity in front of us, and I hope you see it too. So my question to you is, how can you infect others with well-being? I invite you to be the centre of your own well-being contagion with those you live, work and play with, your family, your colleagues and your friends. And you don't have to start a global movement to make a difference. You can jump on a bandwagon that already exists, like parkrun. You can walk it, it's free. Or find some small shifts that you can make and invite others to join you, because you see, small shifts can have a really big impact. And the small shifts of many can have a generational impact, like parkrun will. And imagine if we could elevate the well-being of humanity around the world. What would our world be like if we could achieve that? You see, I'm not standing here because I'm perfect. Not at all. I'm standing here because I know the struggle is real. And I know that when I'm surrounded by other people who want the same thing, who reinfect me with well-being, with their ideas and attitudes and behaviours, it is easier. So I want to leave you with 3 things that you can do to infect others with well-being. The first one is to diagnose. The second one is to treat. And the third one is to make it stick. So diagnose. When I was dealing with Kara, I was so glad that I took a moment and I paused and I asked myself this question. What is the current state of my well-being? And I encourage you to ask yourself that question. And ask those that you live, work, and play with. Start a conversation. Is it sitting at neutral? Are there some aspects that maybe are elevated, they're in the positive? That's fantastic. You want to keep those, preserve them, and strengthen them from there. Maybe there's some things that are maybe struggling, or perhaps just a bit neglected. That's okay. Start from where you're at. Because what we focus on, we can change. And the second step is to treat. And it's at this point, you want to ask yourself the question, where do I want my well-being to be? You see, parkrun was the perfect medicine for me at a time when I needed it most. Engage others in the conversation. Start the conversation with your family, your friends, your colleagues. And imagine and visualize, where would we like our well-being to be in 6 months' time? In 2 years' time? In 10 years' time? And if I continue on the path that I'm on today, will it get me there? If not, identify a small shift that you can start to take and find others who want the same thing so you can continue to reinfect each other. And it's important for me to say that I am not at all suggesting that you self-diagnose and self-treat illness or disease. Please see your medical practitioner regularly, because early detection and treatment actually could save your life. And the last step is to make it stick. And at this point, you really want to be clear on what is your compelling why. What is the reason that you want an elevated level of well-being for those you live, work, and play with, but also for yourself? And the emotional quality of your why is important, because it's what's going to get you up out of your seat, moving, making good choices, and making those important things a priority in your life. And I suggest that you find others that share that why, so that you can, again, keep reinfecting yourselves and each other. Think about a why that goes beyond you, because contribution to others, it fuels us and it fulfills us. Can you think of a single more important cause than your well-being and the well-being of others? This is an incredible opportunity, and I invite you to join me to start your own centre of well-being. Wellbeing Contagion. Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see in the world. I say, join me and let's spread wellbeing contagion. Thank you. Thank you.